And I'm so glad that you're here with us today.
Thanks,
It's my
Trish. It's good to
birthday.
be
I'm
here on your
52
birthday.
today. My brother came to town. He lives in Nevada. We went out to breakfast, and then I've been enjoying your book. So it's been a good day. I'm enjoying it.
Okay. Glad to be here.
So, Creston, why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I'm from Northeast Ohio,
Hmm.
which a lot of my books are set in that place, but I've been in Atlanta for about 35 or 40 years.
Okay.
Married my high school sweetheart, Patty, and I went to school at Bowling Green in Ohio, Bowling
Oh,
Green
okay.
State University, studied magazine journalism, and was a newspaper reporter, which a couple of my characters are
Hmm.
reporters, and then became a corporate copywriter here in Atlanta, and went on my own as a freelance writer about 30, 35 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So really made my career writing copy for companies like Chick-fil-A and Bell South and a lot of colleges around the country I did marketing for. And then in about '05, I felt the call to try my hand at fiction and wrote a novel, and it got shot down everywhere because I didn't know how to write fiction yet.
Mm.
And then I went back to the drawing board and wrote another book, and it got picked up by Multnomah.
Hmm.
And I did 3 books with them, and then I did another 3 with David C. Cook. And I got all the rights back about 4 or 5 years ago, and have been at it as an indie author ever since. So it's been a fun adventure.
Yeah, and I love that there is the opportunity now to be indie authors. Like when we both first started getting books published, it was like you have to go to a local printer, you're going to have 1,000 books in your garage and then try to figure out how to get them out there. And now I love that we have so much more direct access to readers. And so I know the readers of this group, they just love finding authors and then they start reading like all that they can put out. So the more the authors can put out, they're super happy about it. So I love it.
Yeah, I wish I were a faster writer, but at this stage, I've stopped my freelance writing, and I'm just working on books.
Okay.
And I'm just writing 1 or 2 books a year. I'm trying to keep it quality up and
Yeah,
just do what I want to do. And so it's been really fun. I'm enjoying it.
I love it. Okay, so we're talking about a book today that okay, I am in here. Okay, so first of all, I am blown away. So there's 2 points of view, and then there's a son who's been in an accident. I'm trying to like I'll say it but not give too much away, but there's a son that's been in an accident, but his mind is fully alert. In fact, his senses are heightened. He could hear sharply. He knows what's going on around him, and because of the loss of his mother, this accident, hospital bills, his dad is really struggling. And then that's the other point of view of his dad. And first of all, I'm amazed because so much is going on in a character that can't move. Like he tries to respond or to comment and he can't. And that the way you were able, first of all, to do that, and there's people talking to him, so he like even threats happening and he can't do anything or say anything. And then you see the desperation of this father just trying to get help. So both points of view, I'm totally pulled in. I'm just fascinated at how you were able to achieve this because the tension is high, but really there's not like they're running from place to place or it's like all in almost a still place. So tell me like where you got the idea for this.
The idea, as with most of my books, came from a seed of reality.
Mm,
Some dear friends of ours had their son was in a drowning accident,
mhm,
and he's still alive now. He's, I think, in his 40s. But I used to go visit him, and he was in the state of my character Hale.
mhm,
And I would go visit him about once a week and just play some music and read a little bit of scripture to him. And so this is where I got the idea for the book, because I always felt that he was in there, that he could
mhm.
understand, although he couldn't really output. And so, the seed of the idea grew from there. And you put a bunch of mysterious stuff going on. His dad had to borrow a lot of money
Mhm.
after the accident, and he got in with some bad people who are now ready to collect.
Mhm.
And as you know. So that, yeah, that's the story behind I Am in Here.
Yeah, and it's so fascinating because you see there's also such a strong faith element in this. So there is the there's there's deadlines and there's mounting danger and characters that you just well, first of all, Gilbert, his friend, I just love him so much. So there's characters you love and have compassion for, and there's characters you definitely don't like at all. So it's all these conflicting things in this, but the faith element is so strong. And it really is when you lose everything, where is your faith? And where can you
Yeah,
find your faith? And you could either be mad at God or you can think that he doesn't exist. Like you have to come to some place. And I love how through the characters' struggles, they're so real because any of us that have faced hard stuff have like, God, like if you're there, why is this happening? And then there's those people that have the strong faith that keep believing, that keep hoping. And I just love the faith element. So why is that important to you as a writer?
well, I set out back in '05 to write a gritty Christian thriller that would kind of
Mhm.
fit my faith. And so every book since then, I'm like, this was my 13th book. Each one has kind of reflected where I am spiritually. What's going on in
Mhm.
my walk usually comes out of what's going on in the book. So if there's a book where I've got doubts and I've got questions, that comes out. And I think it's really kind of been a ministry to myself, to
Mhm.
therapy to write these books. But, as Christians, we go through so much. So many ups and downs, and our faith is tested. And I just want to write books that are contemporary and thrilling and tension filled, with a couple characters who have a Christian worldview, and realistically, what do they go through? So, the type of books I read, books with a lot of tension. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to be like police thrillers. They
Yeah.
can be old classics, as long as there's something that wants me to, forcing me to keep reading. That's the kind of books I try to write. So
Yeah. And there's that ticking talk. There's, these bad things are coming.
yeah,
But so I started reading it, like reading the paperback version. And then like I have to do laundry, I have to do these things. So I just bought the Audible version so I could keep listening because I couldn't sit down to keep reading. So, and I was surprised how quickly I remember looking down and realizing like I was halfway through the book. But
yeah,
because and I'm like, "How does he do this?" Because there's not a lot of motion, because it's in a point of view of someone who can't move, but yet it's fast paced. I don't even know how that works, but
yeah.
you were able to do it, and it's really great.
Thank you. Well, and I like a lot of good dialogue.
Mhm.
I think realistic dialogue. I mean, when I'm reading a book, a novel, I just pour through I want good dialogue that's realistic, and so that's a big factor.
Yeah.
Um, but and again, too, I don't write real long books anymore. I'm getting
Right.
older, and I can't keep track of all that. They're pretty simple. They're pretty fast. A lot of people tell me that teens enjoy my books, and also men.
Oh, yeah.
So, um, you know,
I already know that my older sons and my husband are gonna love it, and then my teen daughters too, because they're all into the kind of the true crime stuff.
mhm,
And so they're gonna just pour through it. So yeah, and I love that it can reach that wide variety of readers who are gonna pick it up. But again, there's the spiritual arc, there's the faith element,
yeah,
there's the questions that so many people face, and it's good to talk about these things, and it's good to where is God in this? And then in your book, through the characters' lives, you see just how just how things work out. We'll just put it that way.
yeah. Well, a lot of my author buddies think I should try to write a mainstream thriller, not
Mhm.
without a Christian element. And I've thought of that, and I've tried to do that even, but I just I don't know. For me, it doesn't work if I don't somehow
Mm-mm.
bring up the faith element.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do it in a more subtle way in the future. I don't know, but for now, this is been satisfying for me and what people have liked. So
Yeah, yeah, I love that, and I think also, I mean, I've read mainstream, they make the bestsellers list, and the writing's good, but then I get to the end and I'm like, that was just flat. Like I feel empty,
yeah,
afterwards. And so I love
yeah,
when we need that hope and that takeaway and that inspiration, even in hard situations, like your book is very hard situations, you still walk away feeling uplifted instead of just like that empty, flat feeling like, oh, that
yeah,
was well written, but I got nothing out of it. So
yeah, and hopefully thought provoking too.
yeah, yeah,
There's like I said
very.
earlier, yeah, I been a Christian a long time, been through a lot of ups and downs and trials and different situations.
Mhm.
I just think I think my books are try to be realistic about keeping the faith.
Mhm. Yeah, I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
tell us about some of your other books. Okay, so we have this one that I wanna show the cover again. I Am in Here. And the audio is excellent too, so great job on that. What are some other books that if people are like, "Okay, yes, I definitely wanna get this," what other books can they look forward to?
Yeah. So my recent series is the Signs of Life series. So Signs
Mhm.
of Life is book one. And I just dropped book 6 in that series, which is
Ooh.
called Secrets and Shadows. And so that's probably uh, I think that'll probably go another book. So that'll be a 7-book series. And then my most popular book is Fear Has a Name,
Mhm.
and that was a 3-book series called The Crittenden Files. Fear Has a Name's book one, and that's about a reporter in Ohio. And then I have another standalone thriller based in Las Vegas. It's called Nobody. It's about a homeless man who may be an angel in disguise.
Mm.
And then my first 2 books were The Rockstar Chronicles, and that's about a rock star on trial for murder. So yeah, I like the idea of taking contemporary topics.
Mhm.
Uh, I kind of it's kind of like how Stephen King just takes a seed of an idea
Yeah.
and says, "What if this crazy thing would happen? What if this would happen?" And you just get snowballs from there. And I don't plot when I write. I'm a seat of the pants writer, so I don't know.
Okay, I can't even imagine that. I have to know what's gonna happen.
No, I don't. In fact, I've gotten halfway through books and I tell my wife, I don't know who did it yet, even. She said, well, we
Wow.
got the reader home, so that's good. But it is kind of scary to do that. You don't want to go back and have to throw away half of a book, but it's worked out.
Well, okay, I'm trying to picture that because there's this ticking clock, this mounting danger that is happening in this book. So you're telling me that when it started, you didn't know how they were gonna get out of it?
No, not at
Oh my word, that would just drive me crazy as a
all.
writer.
So what I do is I just start writing and
Okay.
thinking. And then at the end of the manuscript, I jot down ideas for what can happen next, how it can end. And then as the manuscript gets longer, I move those into categories per character. So here's what could happen to this character. Here's what might happen to this character. Here's how it might end. And then, so as the manuscript goes, I'm putting more ideas at the end. And if I ever hit a block, I just go to the ideas and kind of pick one and go in that direction.
I'm
It,
amazed.
it is a little dicey, but
Yeah,
it,
well, obviously it works because I'm like I have no idea. Like I'm not all the way done, but I'm like I have no idea how
yeah,
this they're gonna come out of this. Well, obviously, I'm don't have any idea because you didn't have an idea when you were writing it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I
So
love
that's the
that.
only way I know how to do it. I've had friends that have tried to help me plot and figure that all out, but my brain just doesn't. I just can't do that. I can't think that far ahead and,
Oh,
and come
wow.
up with the whole story before I start writing.
Well, obviously it works for you.
Yeah,
So we have a
yeah.
question from someone who's listening that says, "Do you ever write yourself in a corner you can't get out of?"
Unfortunately, that does happen now and then, but I am such a slow writer and
Mhm.
so precise as I go that
Mhm.
that doesn't happen much. And if it does, I don't have to lose more than a day or so.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll come to a place where I have to go back through the book and add uh, maybe something, like I'll
Mhm.
get to a point where I think, well, this character does this, so we have to go back through the beginning
Mhm.
and add the seeds of that in throughout. But yeah, it works for me.
That is amazing. Well, I just love how like God created us all so different, how we plot and how we figure out the stories. But the
Yeah,
essence is that we love story. Like we love story. We
yeah,
love exploring issues through story. I think it's so important. You know, when people can put up science facts and it'll just like I don't know, at least for me, it just doesn't sink in. But
yeah,
they said, "Let me tell you a story," or as this, like, I'm in here, this voice of this person saying, like, everyone is talking around me and they think I'm just watching the home shopping channel, but I'm in here and I know what's going on. So
yeah.
it's just like, oh, let me lean in closer. And so I love that. What are some comments that you get from readers? And you have a ton of reviews, by the way, a ton of excellent, excellent reviews. What are some common threads when they come to your books that you find readers saying over and over again?
Uh, um,
Don't be
you know,
shy. You can tell us.
well, people. I'm always thrilled when new readers find me because they find me and they go read every book, and
Yes.
they really just love a lot of them love the faith elements, but a lot of them love the thrills.
Mhm.
Um, the pace. The
Mhm.
pace is so important. I
Yeah.
always try to leave cliffhangers at the end of each
Mhm.
chapter, and at the beginning of each chapter, I try and have a cliffhanger, so they've got to keep reading. That's the main thing. I mean, that's why I read fiction.
Yeah.
I want to be hooked, and I start a lot of books that I don't finish. If
Mhm.
they don't keep me really in the grip, then I give up. And I don't like a lot of fluffy parts either, so I don't include that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's little description, but enough,
Mhm.
to set the scene.
Well, I think there's enough description that the reader can see it.
Yeah,
So, like talking about like this one scene, I remember like going down to the basement. The dad follows someone to the basement. It's like the musty smell, the unmade waterbed. I'm like, like three things that you describe. I can like picture it perfectly.
oh yeah,
So, yeah, the pile of clothes on the floor. It's like, oh, I can totally picture this. It's not like you have to describe everything in the room. We just get a sense of who this
yeah,
person is and then what is
yeah.
they're about. And so I think that's really good. And the fascinating thing about this one too, I'm gonna hold it up again one more time, is that all these people are talking to Hale, and so he knows all this stuff, but he can't communicate. Every time he tries to communicate, it comes out like moans. So what she's doing, what he's doing, what all these people are doing, and because he knows, but he can't communicate to say like, "Watch out," or "This is gonna happen." It's
Yeah.
just like I was like, that is such a fascinating,
Well,
fascinating way.
and for a little while when I started the book, I didn't know if it was going to work or not. I mean,
I
I
mean, I
learned
could see, yeah,
yeah, you can see that
yeah,
because he's immobile, and
yeah,
they don't take him out. So
yeah,
immediately, I knew I needed one more character who we could get out
hmm
around town. But
yeah, yeah,
uh, I
and
do.
yeah,
I like writing standalone thrillers like this one. I do like writing series, but I learned with this one. I took a break between book 5 and 6 of my current series, and I think I'll probably do that again to write another standalone, just because it's fun to go to a different world for a while and then get back.
yeah. Try something new and then explore. Yeah. So I found it fascinating the way you did it. I'm like almost trying to study it. Like, how did he achieve this? Because it's really working. So there's
Yeah.
fun.
And that's it's just it's the only thing I've ever known how to do is write.
Hmm.
And the craft of fiction really is taken. That's what I was going to tell you. I forgot. But with each book, I mean, I feel like I get better.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's so much to learn, and as you write each new book, I feel like I'm getting better, stronger. And when I read fiction, I pick up a lot too. A lot of new
Hmm.
words, a lot of new uh, the way they describe characters. I'll try and use that in my fiction. So I think each book you get better.
Yeah, I was just speaking at a writers conference And I didn't get a chance because I was speaking so much to attend, but they said afterwards, like, I'll have access to all the videos. I'm like, I cannot wait to go listen to these teachers because I love to just go and sit and see how do people do this. And it's just it is a craft where you can always learn something new. You could always
Right.
try something different. And I think that's good because it definitely doesn't bore us and then it doesn't bore the reader too. Like
Yeah.
it's like they could just like get excited about the next book to see how it's going to be told in a new and different way.
Yeah, I'm all about trying new things. I think that's really what people I think that's what makes a good breakout novel if you find
Mhm.
something unique. And that's why I wanted you to feature this book rather than my new book six,
Yeah.
because I think this is more of a breakout type. I mean,
Mm.
how do you break out with a number six book? But people like to read the series, but that's what I'm trying to do is a unique voice. I'm not afraid to try stuff like that. In fact, I've got an idea for my new book that I'm going to try something different with.
Ooh.
Yeah, see if that flies. I can't say anything.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I can see your mind turning though. I can like see it. So
I,
I was thinking this too would be a good movie. Like it would definitely be a good movie that you're like,
yes,
oh yeah.
yes. Hello, tell someone.
Hello. Hello, producer friends that are out
Yeah,
there. Yeah, it would be because and it wouldn't be a big budget, which is always stuff that they're looking for. Because
that's
every
true.
time you have big explosions and big battles or whatever. So yeah,
Yeah,
this wouldn't have to be a big budget movie and
right.
it's
Very small
intense.
budget. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting about the book is Hale's dad is he's struggling with his faith because he
Mhm.
lost his wife, he lost his son in the son's accident, and he's got these organized crime guys after him,
Mhm.
and he's about giving up. And then Hale has a sister too who's
Yeah.
kind of followed along in that, and
Yeah.
so anyway, enough
But
about that.
then there's Gilbert. Gilbert's like this ray of sunshine that
Yeah,
just shows up right when you need it.
Gilbert
Uh,
was Hale's best friend. He
yeah.
comes to visit each week, and he kind of smells a rat when after a
Mhm.
little while, seeing what's going on at the house and such.
And such a strong faith. I love that.
Yeah,
He has
yeah.
such strong faith.
Hmm.
All right. So, what's next? You mentioned that you were going to work on book 7 in that series, and then you have an idea for a standalone. Do you have ideas beyond those things, or are those the things you're going to be focusing on next?
No, that's what I'm focusing on next. The new one, the standalone thriller, is going to be one of two topics, or they're going to be combined. I have interviewed a couple industry experts. Well, in the let's say the airline industry,
Oh.
so it could be a kind of an airline thriller.
Hmm.
I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but I'm excited. I love what I do. I'm at a stage in my life where uh, I don't have to do a lot, but boy, I sure like going to work every morning and working on my books. I work from about 8 to noon on fiction, and then my afternoons are spent on marketing and advertising the books.
Well, that is awesome. Like, I need to learn from you. I'm just going to be like emailing you now and like, you need to help me because you are definitely doing a great job on all
I'd
this.
be glad to help you. I'm trying to help a lot of authors because a lot have helped me as I've learned how to do
Yeah.
like Amazon ads, Facebook ads, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That's
Yeah,
I think you're just doing a fantastic job. I mean, first of all, it doesn't matter how well you know Amazon ads if you're not writing a good book. But the cool thing is you're writing excellent books that obviously by all the reviews and all the stars and all the comments, people are loving them. So I think that's the key too.
thank you. Yeah, but you're right. You got to write a good book.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
can you can advertise and get people to buy it, but they're not going to buy any more if it's not good.
Yeah, and when they love it, then they're like you said, they're gonna go read all the other stuff that which
Yeah,
I've already put in my wish list. Was it Fear has what was that?
fear,
Fear
fear has a name.
Uh-huh. I've already have it in my wish list for
I
next.
hope you'll
So,
read it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you one.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's so fun. Yeah, so you're already like, "Okay, I wanna read some more. This is really good." which is
Good.
fun, which is so funny. Like, this isn't what I was planning to like be reading on my birthday, but you got me. So there.
All right.
Yeah. So okay. So we talked about the your books and what's coming out. I always like to ask what Christian fiction you've enjoyed. It could be something recent. It could be old favorites. Anything that you've enjoyed.
Yeah. James Scott Bell is a friend, and
Mm-hmm.
I always loved his books. I love Ted Decker's earliest books. Um, I just read The Count of Monte Cristo. It's an
Oh
old
wow.
classic. I don't know
Yeah.
if we call it Christian fiction. It's the biggest book I've ever read. It was like that fat. I
Yeah.
think they said it was like close to 700,000 words.
I
Can't believe
can
I
imagine.
read, but it's a story of revenge, and it was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so those are, and of course Terry Blackstock. Um, those are probably my
Yeah,
faves.
those are some great, great suspense writers, and they just keep you again on the edge of your seat. I remember the first time I met Terry Blackstock, and then I got one of her books because she's just the sweetest,
Yes, she
like just
did.
gentle voice, and then very so sweet and generous and kind. And then you read the book, you're like, what is inside
Yeah,
this sweet person?
we probably met during the same time back at
Hmm.
that conference.
Yeah, yeah, and it was just like it's so fun to, yeah, so fun to meet people and like, what is going on in your mind? Like, no, I'm
Yeah.
like curious, like how this can come out of you. But
Well, we just moved to a new neighborhood, and all my neighbors are finding out I write books, and they're all like, "Are we going to be in your next book?" And I say, "You just might.
yeah,
Just
and
watch
yeah,
what you do."
exactly. You look so kind and gentle until they read your books, and they're like, we could put in extra security systems around here. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so another thing I like to ask is where can people go to connect with you? So just all the places, let us know about that.
Yeah, yeah. So Facebook, I have an author page, Twitter
Mhm.
presence, little on Instagram. I'm trying to get better at that. And then my website is crestonmapes.com.
Yeah.
And also on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, and what I love is also about the Kindle Unlimited, because so many of our readers, that's what they have, and it's such a great resource that they can find the
Really.
book that they want, and then just again, some of our readers read a book a day or a book every 2 days, and I love that there's so many great options through Kindle Unlimited that they can get those.
Yeah,
And it does help. I've had people say, "Is it still help the author if you get it on Kindle Unlimited?" Yes, yes, it does. So
it does. It's a
do
great,
it.
yeah, it's a very good thing.
Yeah. Well, Creston, it has been awesome having you here. I've enjoyed it. I'm again going to show this one. I am in here. This is a very fast paced, interesting. I couldn't put it down. Again, I had to go do stuff, so I bought it on Audible just so I could keep listening when I was doing stuff. But great job. I cannot wait to read more. I know I'm going to be passing this around to my family. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you and happy birthday. Have a good one.
Well, are you going to sing for me?
No,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
thank you. Take care. See you
Bye.
next time.
Okay.